Do you want to have a garden with perfect growing conditions and optimal harvest? Well, it all starts with planning your garden. My name is Jag Singh and welcome to Daisy Creek Farms, and this is the very first episode of Garden with Jag series in which Lily and I we are building a garden from scratch. We are growing in raised beds, in containers, in ground. We are growing in shade and in full sun, and we're going to be sharing all of these results with you. And we're going to be asking for your feedback and implementing in this garden and let you know how that goes as well. Now let's start with very first episode of this series, which is planning the garden. Now there are multiple factors that are involved in planning your garden, and the very first one is location. Location is the king. You have to understand the location of your garden, whether you have a small space in your backyard, you're going to have more space in there. You want to understand whether you want to have raised beds, containers, or plant in ground. You want to know how much area do you have to work with for your garden. You want to know the length and the width of your garden. You have to know whether you have low-lying spots or high areas in your garden. You have to know which way the sun rises, the direction of your sun, and which way the sun sets. You have to know where the trees in your garden and where they cast shade and which area of your garden receives full sun. Now this is the area I've selected to build my garden. The length of this garden faces south. So the sun rises from the east, it travels in this direction, and sun sets in the west. Now in another hemisphere, you want to build a garden that is southward facing. That receives the most amount of sun. Now if you're in southern hemisphere, you want to build a garden that's northward facing because everything is opposite for you. Now my area is very flat. I don't have very many low-lying areas or high areas. However, if your garden has low-lying areas or high areas, you want to be very mindful of those variations because cold air sinks and hot air rises, which can cause minute differences in temperature and moisture. Now if you have low-lying areas in your garden, there's one more thing you have to be concerned about. When it rains, low-lying areas can get flooding and can get a lot of water. So if you plant something in that area that does not like to be waterlogged, those varieties are not going to do well. So plant something that loves a lot of water in low-lying areas, and if you have high areas in your garden, you can plant varieties that love well-drained soil. Now I have trees that run right in the middle of my garden. Now these trees cast shade in the back of my garden. So I'll be building raised bed all around this area. However, I'll be planting shade-loving herbs and vegetables in the back of my garden, such as mint, basil, and bell peppers. And I'll be planting vegetables that love full sun in the front of my garden, such as okra, eggplant, tomatoes, and hot peppers. And if there are any more vegetables that you would like me to grow in shade or in full sun, let me know. Now this is a raised bed that I've already established. Now I'll be building more for this Garden with Jag series as well. However, there's one more factor that you need to know. You need to plant vegetables that don't grow too high in the front, and then vegetables that grow much higher, or vining vegetables that will have trellises or something. You want to have those in the back because you don't want these taller plants to shade out the plants that don't grow too tall. So I have my vining varieties of squash right here. They're going to be spreading out here and they enjoy full sun, while I have these bigger plants in the back that can still enjoy full sun and will not cast shadow on the smaller plants. Now let's start designing our garden. Now there are multiple ways you can design your garden. You can use Excel to design your garden.
Open up Excel, select the columns, and drag the column width and make it shorter to make these squares. Now these will act as grids. Then use each square as 1 square feet or 2 square feet depending on the size of your garden. And then select an area to create an outline of the garden. To do so, highlight the area, select the border, and select the thick outline border. Now this creates your working garden area. And then mark the locations where you have your trees. To do so, click on a cell and then fill the cell with green background. So I have 2 trees right here in my garden. Now I'm treating each cell as 1 square feet. So I'm selecting 4 cells as the width of my garden, which is 4 feet wide. And then I'm dragging down 8 rows to make the length of my garden, which is 8 feet. And then click on the borders drop down, select the outline border to mark your raised bed. Now you can just copy these raised beds and then just paste them to create more. Now I have a 3-foot walkway running north to south in between my raised beds, and I also have a 3-foot walkway running east to west. Now similarly, you can create a lot more raised beds, and you can just write in the raised beds what you're going to be planting in them.
Now if you want to make your design look really pretty, you can also add images to your design. You can use clip art, online images, or images that are saved on your computer and add them to your raised bed. Like the images I have for this pumpkin, tomatoes, eggplants, I just added this corn and I'm adding these okra in there, and that makes the design look much more alive.
Now you can also use a grid paper like this one to design your garden. Now just like in Excel, you can treat each one of the squares as 1 square feet or 2 square feet. To start with, I'm first going to outline my garden. So this is the area of my garden, and then I'm marking the directions. Afterwards, I'm plotting the direction of the sun. So my sun goes from east to west and my garden is southward facing. And then I'm marking where my trees are. Now I'm treating each one of these squares as 1 square feet. So I'm creating a raised bed 4 feet wide which spans across 4 squares. And then my raised bed is going to be 8 feet long. So I'm dragging the outline all the way down 8 squares. And similarly, I'm designing more raised beds. Depending on the area you have, you can figure out the width and length of your raised beds. Now I've created a 4-foot raised bed plan here. I've marked my directions. I've jotted down the direction of my sun. And here are all of my raised bed gardens. Some of them are 8 foot long, 4 feet wide, and some of them are 12 foot long and 4 feet wide. I have a 3-foot walkway in the middle. I know my trees. I know where they cast shade as well. And I've done the same for the 5-foot raised bed plan. My 5-foot raised bed plants are 5 feet wide and 8 feet long, and I have a 4-foot walkway in the middle. This becomes very handy when plants become big and they start to come inside the walkway. You still have some space to walk through your walkways.
Now I need to decide whether I should go with the 4-foot raised bed plan or a 5-foot raised bed plan. Lily, which raised bed plan do you like? We got the seal of approval right here. Well, Lily wants the 5-foot raised beds because she wants the extra space to lay in those raised beds. I know her really well. But to tell you what, I'm not really going to go with the 5-foot raised bed plan because it might be a little bit hard to reach over these wide raised beds. So I'm not going to tell Lily, but I'm going to go with the 4-foot one. Well, I'm going to go check out the area where I'm going to be building the raised beds. Well, everything looks good. Let me grab those plans and let's get going. Here's a 5-foot plan. Where did the 4-foot plan go? Lily, do you know where my 4-foot raised bed plan went? Huh, you have no idea, huh? Where could it go? It was just right here. I don't know where my 4-foot raised bed plan went. I don't want to spend all that time making that again. So I guess I'm just going to go with the 5-foot one. Well, thanks to everyone who has contributed through Super Thanks and PayPal. Your contributions are very much appreciated. I'm going to be using these contributions to help people in need, such as financial hardship or health issues, so they can build their garden. So if you keep these simple factors in mind, you can plan your garden and optimize your production and your harvest. Now, the next step for me is going to be building those raised beds, setting up the containers, and preparing an area for growing vegetables in ground as well. And that's coming up in the second episode. Well, if you like this video, check out this video on 15 vegetables you can grow in shade, and I'll see you in another video.